Oh, how nice of you. I appreciate that. This is another card for a cousin or anybody that needs my help.
Okay.
All right. Have a blessed day. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that, buddy. Now I'm gonna talk about it.
Thank you for calling. Check out empty phone. Please hold while I try to connect you.
You better answer that damn phone, bitch! Miss Monroe. Miss Monroe.
Hey, what's going on? How's everything going?
Better answer that phone, bitch!
Baby, stop it.
We should have never watched it. You see the video I sent you?
No, I haven't had a chance to look at my phone.
Lord, wait till you
that is not one thing you're going to be picking up, okay? So, yeah, you need to chill with that. Yeah, I ain't feeling that.
Why when I have some fun, you not feeling it? Damn.
No.
Yeah, no fun.
Because it's disrespectful. That's not fun. That's disrespectful, and you know it. But disrespectful habits.
But you know what it's referencing to. It ain't being disrespectful.
I know what it's referencing to, but it don't.
Uncle Joe. Is that his name?
Yep.
It's Uncle Joe.
It sure is. Yeah, but that don't
That's
sound
supposed to be
cool.
our inside joke.
No, I don't like it. So stop it. Now, what's going on?
I need you to look at them videos I sent you.
Oh
my
can
God.
We look into that in the meantime? Let's see.
Oh my God.
What?
When
what
you see the video.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna see. Okay, I'll call you. Let me call you back.
Okay, cool. Later.
All right, babe. All right.
Cause I got high. I was going to go to work, but I got high. And I know why Hampton, Georgia people, perfect place to buy you some land, low tax rate, getting more for the money, baby.
We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about.
Then why didn't you go to
In the name of transparency, can you put up my name
is in the files.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So in other words, anybody can be on this
Anybody's.
list.
Well, there is a list. Trump's name is on the logs, the passenger logs of Epstein's aircraft at least 7 times. That's already been made public.
Like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications anytime I go live and make a video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Let's get to Rodney Clinton. Now, everybody's crying about these Epstein files. Let me just make a quick statement and I'm gonna get to Rodney Clinton. There are people in the Epstein files that are evil and need to be prosecuted and probably gonna burn in hell. There are also people, and this is why Trump did not want them released the way they've been released. There's people that get in trouble just because they knew the guy, or just because they communicated the guy. And some of them had no idea he was a pedophile, weirdo, I would argue. Now y'all getting people in trouble who just sent them a message trying to network. And y'all going crazy over that. You need to slow down and say, yeah, the text message is weird. 3 options you got with it, or the email. 1 is that the person is a weirdo and they need to go to jail. 2 is just because you say something weird don't mean that the government has enough evidence to prosecute you. The third thing is maybe you need to consider the context, because it's only weird because you want it to be weird because it's Epstein, and in hindsight we know he a nut job. Maybe you should think about the context of it. You got those 3 options that you should consider when you read any email.
Well, maybe we ain't read all
Don't
the
be
emails.
the person that think every communication is an indictment on somebody.
It is.
I can name you 45 situations where people turn out to be nut jobs and good innocent people happen to know that person. But they didn't know that person was doing that. And people are retroactively accusing people. So 3 options. Don't be a nut. Be evaluated impartially in 3 ways. This is the best bourbon that I have ever had.
United States, it's because someone's name is there, they committed a crime. But I think there's a lot of very troubling and really horrific information coming out. Today, it came out that Steve Bannon was trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to help him overthrow Pope Francis. I guess that was part of the civilizational true conservatism. So it is something that, you know, needs to be totally transparent. I've called for, you know, many years for everything to be put out there so people can
all right, y'all notice how her example was Steve Bannon. Now let's go look in the mirror real quick. Let's let her put her ugly face against the mirror so she can look in the mirror. She claimed that her and her husband have no connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Woman, if you gon' say something, you need to be consistente. I just made that word up. It's a Spanish Negro word for consistent. Okay? Consistente. Listen to what she said when she was interviewed, and then we're going to blast her with the proof. Roll the clip.
Do you regret the links that there have been?
You know, we have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work.
What kind of rides?
I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about.
Trump it is.
They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent.
There are calls for another individual who denies wrongdoing to go before Congress on this matter.
Why you fail to show
Andrew
up for Congress?
Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Do you think he should testify?
I think everybody should testify. Look,
including
except
the
us.
Prince.
I think everybody should testify who is asked to testify. I just
you're not
want it to be
everybody,
fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why do they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated.
Hold on. You know how stupid these people are? I just want to make this point before we show you Ghislaine Maxwell at a wedding and all this stuff. If they wanted to divert attention from Donald Trump, they would have redacted his name. Why did they redact Donald Trump's name? They exposed Donald Trump. They allowed Donald Trump, whatever his dealings were, to be exposed in the public. And now, if you go and look up some of the Epstein files, it exonerates Donald Trump to a large degree. One accusation against him was like 35 years after they claimed that it happened. They referred to him as President Trump, so that means that they must have accused him while he was the president, which is insane. They interviewed him. It was unfounded. Donald Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He didn't like Trump. Trump was a snitch, according to him. But now they keep saying they're trying to cover it up from Donald Trump. You tell me why they didn't do this under the Biden administration. Where was the victims under the Biden administration? Why nobody was crying and spitting on each other about this? Instead, they're doing it now because they want to discredit Donald Trump. And he said, put it all out there. And they still want to act like he's the problem or they covering for him. All right, let's go to the picture. What about this picture? Now, this could be AI. It don't seem like AI. We've seen it before. It's not AI. See, my team says it's verified.
Yeah, Brandon, that is verified picture.
Verified picture. Ghislaine Maxwell at their wedding. It's not just everybody come to the global initiative. At your daughter's wedding. How they get the invite? Last time I checked, you can't just pull up to somebody's wedding. Okay, we got more. Let's talk about Billy. Roll it.
Well, we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times, multiple times. He traveled internationally with Jeffrey Epstein, and he was on the plane called the Lolita Express because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. He has been a friend of his, a continuing friend of his for years and years. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't spoken to him in many years, over a decade, after he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for bad behavior. So that's the difference there. And I think Americans see the two-tier justice system. But, you know, we don't know. They're saying Clinton has not been to his private island, but he has traveled all over the world with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know why A.G. Garland and the Justice Department are so quiet on this tonight. You know, they're out there labeling parents domestic terrorists, yet they're saying nothing about this. And these documents were so slow to come out. Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar business in this country, and Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years where she belongs. And if people in that report are still fighting to keep their names private, Sean, they have no legal basis to do so unless they're a child, a victim, or a cooperating defendant by some chance against some potential case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think Mark Garagos, as a great criminal defense attorney, will back that up as well.
Donald Trump was asked about this on Air Force One. Roll the clip.
So Hillary Clinton said in an interview today that she and her husband are getting pulled into the Epstein matter to divert attention from you, and that your administration has something to hide. What's your response to that?
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. They went in hoping that they'd find it and found just the opposite. I've been totally exonerated. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was fighting that I don't get elected with some author, a sleazebag, by the way. And I've been totally exonerated. No, they're getting pulled in, and that's their problem. I don't know. They're going to have to see what happens. But I watched her in Munich, and she seriously has Trump derangement syndrome.
Do you think that she should publicly testify?
You know, I've been totally exonerated on Epstein, and it's really interesting because they've been pulled in. Think of it. They've been pulled in. Clinton and many other Democrats have been pulled in.
100% right. Let's go to Whoopi Goldberg because she also is getting pulled in. And I'm saying you reap what you sow, right? You on here, Whoopi on here running her mouth, and women on the View running their mouth, bashing everybody, and then all of a sudden they show up in the files, and now they want to change the rules of the game. All right, show Whoopi. Rolling.
Now, in the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes. And what does it say? It says, Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2?
And it looks like they
So
said
what-
no thanks.
Yeah.
So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because I'm telling you, when I tell you people are trying to turn me into, I wasn't his girlfriend, I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not,
What?
you used to have facts
We do.
before
Yeah,
you
but-
said stuff.
But Trump is on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't
Come
speak to
on.
him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on. Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Inquirer
We're
wrote
not
it
talking
about
about
it.
you being with
People
him.
wrote about this stuff. So no, I never had this, and no, I didn't get on the plane. Because
You know
what I would have to do to get on the plane?
Yeah.
They were trying to,
And she doesn't
they're
fly.
so they're trying
She's
to
a
get
bus
me.
babe.
They're trying to get me to get on a plane to get to this thing for Julian Lennon.
Yeah, but the things they dropped like 300 names.
Yes.
And it's like flood the zone because when
Yes.
you're looking, there are people
Yes.
like Marilyn Monroe who
Yes.
was dead.
Elvis.
Yeah, a
is
lot of
on
people,
the
because a
thing.
lot of the reasons your name
Ain't no
can be
Elvis
mentioned
on
are
there. Ain't no
news
Marilyn
articles,
Monroe.
third-party emails, contacts. Again,
Hey,
wealthy,
lying.
famous people often cross in professional and
Joy
social
is
circles,
in
so that's
there.
not the surprising part.
She didn't say nothing about Joy.
It's funny they had that energy when they on the list. But Donald Trump can't be professionally crossing Jeffrey Epstein. Look at Dum Dum McDum-Dum. Probably top 5 dumbest women alive. Or maybe to ever live. Listen to what she said.
People
Roll the
were
clip.
dying for this information. There was some sort of list that everybody thought was going to come out, and who's on the list. What's important for us to note is we shouldn't be repeating names that are on the list, because just because your name has not on the list, but in the documents, just because your name is on the documents doesn't mean that you have done anything criminally irresponsible or illegal or civilly irresponsible.
Or that you were a client.
Or that you were a client. These documents, as I read them, only reflect Epstein's sexual assaults of women and his sexual behavior. So I think that...
And Ghislaine also.
And Ghislaine. And so being named in this suit does not equate to being accused of wrongdoing. And I think that is extremely important, because conspiracy theorists seem to not understand or enjoy facts.
Yes.
These are the facts.
There is a list.
Top out. Now, look at the dates. The El Datas. It's my own Spanish words. The El Datas. 2024, if it could implicate Hillary or any one of these people while Trump is not in office, right? She's all for not everybody on the list is this way. They shouldn't be presumed this way. 2025, when Trump is the president, look how she talking.
Trump's name is on the logs, the passenger logs of Epstein's aircraft at least 7 times. That's already been made public. I mean, of course, Trump is denying any and all allegations, but
What?
all of that information is out there. Why not just put it to rest and say, release the list?
So now you want the list released because Donald Trump could be implicated in your mind. But before that, you don't want it released. These people are hypocrites and nut jobs.
Mr. Chairman, first, are the witnesses going to be providing testimony?
They've been taken for the record. They've been taken for the record. They gave the same public testimony yesterday.
Oh, I wanted to hear from them. Okay. So there was a real disconnect in our first panel in terms of Congressman Emmer and the representative from Minnesota State Legislature versus the Attorney General and fellow in charge of prisons, in terms of the level that Minnesota was cooperating with ICE and with Customs Border Patrol. Were you listening to that opening panel?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I'll start with you, Commissioner Scott. What would you agree or disagree with in terms of what was said in that first panel in terms of the cooperation, lack of cooperation? Because according to Attorney General Ellison, said they were perfectly cooperating and there shouldn't have been any problems here. And I think that the statement he used is it was because of the unprecedented nature. Let me get the. Yeah, just said again. It was because of the scale of the surge that's what caused all the problem versus Minnesota cooperating or not cooperating.
Yeah, that's not accurate at all. I actually met with the Attorney General when I went up with Tom Homan. We initially had conversations. The reason that CBP surged a bunch of resources into Minneapolis is because ICE couldn't go do arrests without being violently assaulted, and they were not getting support from state and local law enforcement.
So talk about the kind of arrest, because we heard from here, and I, quite honestly, I didn't get the complete answer from the fellow from the prisons when he said, as long as there's a judicial order. And I was wondering, does he mean from an Article 3 judge, or is he talking about the administrative law judges that we use for enforcement of ICE? So was that a distinction, or were they only going to honor and they only going to cooperate with Article 3 judicial orders, or did they concede the fact that we handle federal immigration law through the administrative law judges?
So I would defer to ICE on what the normal processes were.
Mr. Lyons.
Yes, sir. I can speak to that. It's both, sir. Judicial and administrative. They did not cooperate at all. I can give you an example.
Well, please give me multiple examples.
I can give you an example where ICE, Enforcement Removal Operations and Homeland Security Investigations, we did execute a criminal warrant for an individual from Ecuador who fled the state of Connecticut, that was wanted for the state of Connecticut for a rape of a 14-year-old minor. He did have a murder warrant from Ecuador, and we did not have any cooperation with that. Going back to the surge part, we did have that.
Just describe no cooperation. I mean, so we had to walk through here. So you got this warrant on somebody who's, convicted of, or I guess convicted of a violent crime, or just wanted on a violent crime. I mean, be specific. Talk about this instance.
This incident, sir, the subject was wanted from the state of Connecticut, fled the state of Connecticut after a detainer was not honored in the state of Connecticut. He was wanted for rape of a 14-year-old minor.
But he wasn't convicted. They made a big deal about, it's got to be a convicted criminal.
No, sir. It was an actual criminal warrant from the state of Connecticut. And that subject was also wanted on an Interpol warrant because he was wanted for homicide in his home country. And he was also illegal reentry, 8 U.S.C. 1326. So you
understand the point? Again, they were making a big point. It has to be convicted. A.G. Ellison kept saying, well, is the person convicted of the crime?
Well, sir, I think we have to start first. Is the person even supposed to be in the country in the first place?
I understand. but so I'm just trying to point out, is that a valid criteria? The Attorney General Ellison was talking about, well, if as long as this person's been convicted of a crime, that's not required, is it?
No, sir.
The person's here illegally. There's a warrant from a different country as well as from state of Connecticut. So with this individual, what did Minnesota not do? What was requested in Minnesota or Hennepin County or whichever?
So the Minneapolis Police Department and the St. Paul Police Department, they're by city orders, they don't cooperate with us. So for instance, we asked them to hold a perimeter or hold a street. That's why we need more offset agents. We would have to go ahead and hold down that city block. Unfortunately, obviously, those vehicles do stick out. Obviously, we used, based on the subject's criminal history, we used an armored vehicle. Once that's seen, agitators started coming to the scene. So now while we're trying to effectuate a criminal arrest warrant in an apartment building, small stairwell, fatal funnel, we have to go ahead and hold down the outer perimeter, where if we had the cooperation of a state or local agency to work with us on that fact, we wouldn't have to have that many officers.
And the investigator's report said that his registration card had not been submitted. We, in fact, did submit Voter Jones' registration card to the investigators for the Secretary of State. I have it here if you guys would like a copy. But clearly, when he signed the card in 1996, he indicated that he was a U.S. citizen. With respect to voter Hanea, he indicated that he was a U.S. citizen on his voter registration card. That was a registration that came in by mail. And I guess I should say, with respect to voter Jones, also, he registered in October of 96, and he voted in numerous elections from 1998 through 2018. And I believe it was when he
11 times, right?
I don't know the exact number. I don't have that right here in front of me, but I know he voted in elections from 1998 through 2018. And I think he did go for jury duty, said he was a permanent resident. He was not a citizen, and then stopped voting after that, is my understanding. With the next voter, Hanea, that particular voter sent in a registration card in September of 2020, indicated he was a United States citizen. He has not voted in any election, has no voter participation history.
Which one is that?
Georgia. Hanea, Hania. Voter Francis submitted a registration card in February of 2020. He did not indicate that he was a United States citizen. He was registered to vote, which was a mistake on the part of DeKalb County. He has no voter history showing that he's voted in any election.
Let me ask a question about Hanea. I'm sorry, go back.
Yep.
The investigator found that they were unable to locate any person with Hanea's name and date of birth. No driver listed in the driver services for this person. Are we sure this person even exists?
I don't know that. What I do know is that the registration came in by mail. The registration came in by mail, and so because a driver's license was not sent with it, he was flagged for, if he showed up to vote, he would have to submit proof that he's eligible to vote at the voting precinct. However, he hasn't voted. Apparently, he did show up, I guess, at jury duty and said he's not a United States citizen. Again, I don't know. I don't know if that person exists or not. Voter Francis, again, registered in 2020, did not indicate he was a United States citizen, has no voter history showing that he's voted in any election. Voter Woods submitted her registration card in September of 2022. She did not indicate whether or not she was a United States citizen, and she has no voter history showing that she's voted in any election. I will report that when we got this information from the Secretary of State's office, DeKalb County immediately removed these voters from the voter rolls. So they are no longer voters on the voter rolls of DeKalb County. I stand here today and tell you, just like I did in December, that DeKalb County made a mistake in registering 2 of these voters. They should not have been registered, and those are voters Francis and Woods. As I mentioned in the December meeting, as has been common in a number of these older cases that have come up, DeKalb County hired a new elections director in 2022, Keisha Smith, and since Ms. Smith has been hired, she has made significant improvements in the way elections are conducted and administered in DeKalb County. She's implemented additional training and processes, put processes in place related to registrations. That additional training includes new standard operating procedures to ensure that registrations don't occur, that these types of registrations don't occur. And that includes an audit. There are at least 2 sets of eyes on every single voter registration application that comes into DeKalb County. So the person that processes it puts it into the system, and then there is someone that is above that person who then reviews to make sure everything that is on that list has been properly entered into the system. So every single registration coming into DeKalb County is audited. I am sure that there will be additional cases that this board has, or that may come before this board, that predate these additional steps that DeKalb County has put in place. However, we do not expect that there will be future cases, since these new processes have been put in place, where something like this will occur. As you all know, Ms. Smith runs an efficient office. She has high expectations of her staff, and she demands accountability when people mess up. The individuals that were responsible for registering these, the 2020 and 2022 registrants do no longer work for DeKalb County. I would ask that this body dismiss DeKalb County related to Jones and Hanea because when we got their registration cards, they indicated they were U.S. citizens. With respect to voters Francis and Woods, we would ask for letters of instruction based upon the new procedures and audit processes that have been put in place by DeKalb County to prevent this from happening in the future.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on this Hanea person or non-person. Do you have the card?
Yeah.
The registration card? I'd like to see that, please.
And when you say they indicate they're a citizen, are you just referring to them signing it? Because there's no box or that checks yes or no.
In 96, there wasn't a box, but he's certifying by signing that he's a United States citizen.
Do you have, is there a box now or
There is a box
something
now.
that's clear?
If you'll look at Hanea's application, there is a box that says yes or no. I think in 96, there wasn't a box.
Yeah, that's okay.
And again, for Mr. Jones, every time you vote in an election, when you sign now the poll pad, you're attesting that you're a United States citizen and eligible to vote.
I certainly hope
catch
that
it.
What's that?
Catch it.
Right. I hope the poll clerks are looking at the driver's licenses because about 99% of people that come in to vote provide a driver's license. Possibly one indicator that they may or may not be a U.S. citizen. I have a question. When a new applicant comes in, all four of the DeKalb County voters that are in question here, or registrants that are in question, they all registered to vote with handwritten applications, which is interesting. These were not initiated with DDS, although sometimes I think we need to monitor DDS these days. But when a new registrant, a new applicant registers to vote, aren't they put into a pending status until all of the information is verified and checked?
I believe that to be correct. And for at least 3 of these voters that were registered in this millennia, they never voted, right? So they would be in a pending status. They have never shown up to vote. With respect to Mr. Jones, who registered again in 1996, 1996 I was in college in 1996, so I have no idea what, as a matter of fact, that was probably the first election I actually voted in. I have no idea what the processes were back in 1996 for verifying anything.
Okay, but if there's a pending application and the action is not taken on that application, then it's rejected after a certain number of days, correct?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, that's what it is in the code book.
Okay.
I don't know what the practice is
I don't know what
at county.
I don't know what the practice is, but I don't.
Right.
I haven't reviewed that part of the procedure.
All right. So when a voter registers, an applicant registers to vote, are they sent a precinct card?
If they're registered to vote, they would be sent a precinct
card.
Correct.
And the precinct card tells them where their polling place is. Correct. And
That's
information, it confirms the information that they have just registered to vote and the information that's on their registration application. But if there's a ghost voter, say like Hania, and the card comes back, so the precinct card is sent and it is returned as returned mail, isn't that applicant then rejected?
Well, I'm not sure there was return mail. He was sent a letter in 2020 after he was registered saying you didn't supply an ID. And here are the list when you go to vote for the first time, here are a list of things, of possible things you need to bring to show that you're eligible to vote. That letter was not returned to DeKalb County.
So he did not provide the ID.
Correct.
And so why wasn't he rejected as the applicant?
He at the time, I believe that he is put into this status that when he shows up to vote, he has to bring something to the voting precinct to show that he's eligible. That's what this letter says from 2020. that was sent to him. And I've got a copy of that letter if you'd like it.
So nobody checks whether this information is accurate or not.
My understanding is from Director Smith is that once that information is entered, there is a process through the Secretary of State's office that verifies motor voter, Social Security Administration that goes through and sends that. And then there is periodically they can download a report to see if those things have been verified. When we got word that of this particular voter, Hanea, it would show that the Social Security number came back as verified.
He didn't
in that
have a Social
report.
Security number on here. Yeah.
Um,
He didn't have Social Security.
I'm sorry.
Everything on here was a lie.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it came back that one of the things came back as correct, but a number of things came back as not correct, and he was listed as having to bring something when he showed up to vote. So he was flagged that he couldn't just show up with an ID and vote. He had to have one of these other things that are required in this letter.
Does that mean he was in pending status?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that question.
That's a yes,
but
stupid.
he certainly couldn't just show up and vote.
That means he's
Everything
in-
on here is a lie.
I will say Mr. Chairman, I will say when I reviewed this yesterday, not that.
Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. We are going to interrupt this Georgia State Election Board meeting as we take you out to a press conference by local faith leaders who are calling on voters to mobilize in the upcoming election in response to an FBI raid that took place in January and has since prompted a full-scale comprehensive investigation into Georgia's 2020 election. You're about to hear from Reverend Jay Augustine with Big Bethel AME Church, Reverend Bo
Y'all need to
Barber
let that
II
shit
with
go.
Prospect AME Church, Reverend Dr. Cynthia Hale
They
with
look-
Ray of
they
Hope
looking more and more
Christian
guilty.
Church, and Reverend Timothy McDonald with First Iconium Baptist Church. Let's take a listen into the remarks, and then we'll bring you right back to Georgia's State Election Board meeting.
They guilty.
In the kingdom at hand.
They won't let it go.
It's a place that has a history of being out front in the fight for human equality. Since January 28th, since the raid and the seizure of 700 ballot boxes representing
off the conversation, and then I want to get into AOC comments, Hillary Clinton comments, Gavin Newsom, the Three Stooges. But let's start off with
I like that. Three Stoogettas.
Well, let's start off with Rubio. Damn, honey. 2028, Rubio 2028, honey.
For 5 centuries before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Its missionaries, its pilgrims, its soldiers, its explorers pouring out from its shores to cross oceans, settle new continents, build vast empires extending out across the globe. But in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus, it was contracting. Europe was in ruins. Half of it lived behind an iron curtain, and the rest looked like it would soon follow. The great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions and by anti-colonial uprisings that would transform the world and drape the red hammer and sickle across vast swaths of the map in the years to come. Against that backdrop, then as now, many came to believe that the West's age of dominance had come to an end, and that our future was destined to be a faint and feeble echo of our past. But together, our predecessors recognized that decline was a choice, and it was a choice they refused to make. This is what we did together once before, and this is what President Trump and the United States want to do again now, together with you. And this is why we do not want our allies to be weak, because that makes us weaker. We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together with us are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to fix it. For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. We do not seek to separate, but to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in human history. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies.
Time in Iowa. Yeah, he lied when you beat him the first time in Iowa.
And you know, when he became president, I had a choice to make. I could be pissed. I could be pissed off at what he'd done. But if I was going to do that, he'd just been elected president. I got a job. I got a job to represent 30 million Texans. And frankly, if I was going to let my hurt feelings make me say I'm not going to work with you, I needed to be prepared to resign my job and go home. And I made a decision then. I said, listen, I'm going to go represent 30 million Texans. I'm going to fight. I got on a plane. I flew to Trump Tower. I sat down with him, spent 4.5 hours. This is the week after the general election in 2016. And what I told him then, I said, Mr. President, we have an historic situation. The voters have given us control of the White House and both houses of Congress. We can't waste this. And I told him then, I said, listen, I want to roll up my sleeves and go to work and lead the effort to deliver on our promises. And as I look back to the Trump presidency, I think we accomplished incredible victories for the American people.
But this moment, what you said there, you know, you talked about your family. They targeted not just your dad, but also your wife. And I think a lot of people sitting at home would say, well, that's pretty cynical. I mean, this is someone who attacked your own members of your family. And what we learned from this testimony is that not only did Donald Trump know about it, he coordinated it.
Look, I understand, but I knew then it was lies. It was lies then. It's
But you didn't
lies
know
now.
Donald Trump himself was
Of course I did. I
coordinating
said
it.
he did. It was obvious. And at the end of the day, I'm a big boy. And as I said, I could have made a choice. Listen, if I were a private citizen, I could decide my feelings are hurt and I'm just going to leave. But if I do that, I can't do my job. And I care about my job. And I will say, if you look at the people of Texas, under almost any measure, the people of Texas were much, much better when Trump was president than compared to now. You look at, we passed an historic tax cut. I worked very hard with him on that. It produced incredible economic prosperity. We had the lowest unemployment rate in 50
But
years.
do you think of the tactics that he used to get
I don't
where
like
he
him. I can't
was?
stand him.
Do you think he would have been the nominee had he not done stuff like that?
I don't know. I think Donald Trump is a unique character in American history. There are things he says and does that I like. There are things he says and does that I don't like. I'll tell you what millions of Americans love about him is that he's got backbones and guts, and that he's willing to stand and fight,
We talk to
and
voters,
that matters.
and we talk to voters all the time about this.
You see that Caitlin Collins, she just...
This is a big one if you're into environment. This is about as big as it gets, they tell me, and it's an honor to be here with a terrific person who's worked so hard on this and some other terrific people. Thank you very much. But I'm pleased to be joined today by EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who you all know, and to announce the single largest deregulatory action in American history. That's a big statement in American history, and I think we can add the words by far. Under the process just completed by the EPA, we are officially...
Application?
No.
Is there anything else on the card that it's not correct?
Everything seems correct, but I never did any of this.
Did someone fill out an application for you, Mr. Francis?
Not by my knowledge.
Is the address correct on this?
I currently moved, so I'm not staying in the cap anymore.
Was this address correct in 2020?
Yes.
You live there?
Yes, I did live there.
But that's not your signature.
No.
You have your driver's license on you?
I don't have it on me, but I recently replaced it, so the driver's license number is different as of now.
Well, that shouldn't change, right? Okay.
Can you sign something for us? How you should sign things?
Yeah, can you sign your name can you give him a piece of paper so he can sign his name?
Sign this. Sign this. Which is the same copy of the which
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Whichever. I think. Well, I mean, that's something.
Any questions?
No. Well, you didn't check that you are a citizen or non-citizen. So if regardless, this is a DeKalb error.
Okay.
Any further questions from the board? Thank you, sir. Oh, sorry.
Mr. Francis, did you get a precinct card from DeKalb County? Did they send you a precinct card, a voting card?
No, I've not received one.
But the address on the registration is correct?
Yes.
Did you receive one in 2020?
Yes.
You did?
I moved in 2022.
Okay. Did you get a precinct card in 2020?
No.
Like an election? Okay. No, nothing. Nothing in the mail for voting?
Nothing about voters registration in the mail.
Okay. Did you get an absentee ballot?
No, I did not.
Okay. Absentee ballot?
No, I did not.
Okay.
They caught him cheating. I said, that's not my signature. No, it is not. No, it is not my signature. No, it is not.
Any further questions from the board?
I have a quick question. Mr. Heron, do you know in this situation for DeKalb County, if a voter doesn't check yes or no, are they automatically registered anyway?
They should not be registered to vote if they don't check yes or no. We should be contacting the voter to verify their citizenship. If they do not, that is the current process. So if one of these applications were to come in today, the process would be is that they would contact the person that submitted the registration to say, you didn't check this box. You need to submit proof that you are a United States citizen for us to be able to register you.
Thank you. Mr. Francis, do you recall if anyone ever contacted you?
No.
I do not.
You don't recall, or they did not?
Never voted. I never got no call, anything about being voted.
Thank you.
And just to clarify, that was not the process in 2020,
Right,
but that
I
is the
understand.
process today.
Got it.
Thank you for coming and clearing your name.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions from the board?
Are the respondents?
Are there any other respondents here on this very long case? No? We will deal with these, I guess, one at a time.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion.
Yes.
Move that we refer DeKalb County to the Attorney General for violation of 21-226 in cases 1, 2, 3, and 4.
We have motion to refer DeKalb County to the AG for violations of 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
Is there a second? Hearing no second, I'm sorry?
I just want to, these cases, I guess I want to know what's the impetus? Because these cases are before Ms. Smith was there, right?
My reason for recommending referral to the Attorney General is that it's incumbent upon imperative that counties maintain accurate and current voter rolls, including search and research and review and audit for the registrants on their voter rolls, to identify registrants that are not eligible voters, including non-citizens. There are methods and tools available today to do that research and review and audit. And and both of these counties are registered over 100% of the citizen voting age population, which suggests to me that they are not adequately required by the National Voter Registration Act.
With that said, okay.
I have no problem seconding that motion.
Yeah.
We have motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, so moved by a vote of 3-0.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion
Yes.
regarding Fulton County. Motion
Yes.
regarding Fulton County. I recommend referral to the Attorney General for cases 5, 7, 8, and 9 for the same reasons. Accepting Ms. Gamble.
Right. Okay. I just want to verify that. We have a motion to refer Fulton County to AG on pertaining to cases 5, 7, 8, and 9. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, so moved.
That's your ass, Fulton County.
Chair will consider motions on the individuals.
Mr. Chair?
Okay.
I have a motion for Richard Vaughn Jones. Recommend referral to the Attorney General and the District Attorney.
We have motion to refer Richard Jones, the Attorney General and District Attorney. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second from Member King. All those, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, so moved. Chair will entertain another motion.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion regarding Anthony Francis. I recommend referral to the District Attorney and Attorney General.
I have a discussion on that one.
Any discussion?
In this case, he didn't check citizen or non-citizen. So I just want to know what was was it just filling it out in general? Because the cab was supposed to contact him and verify that he should have never been registered.
Correct. The only U.S. citizens can in the United States. This was a hand-filled application submitted by Mr. Francis, and it says, I affirm that I am eligible to vote in Georgia. He did not check the yes or no application.
Yeah, I have some concerns because I feel like there's a lot of similarities to me between what I see on Anthony Francis's application and Mr. Ania, whether he exists or not, with the numbers. Mr. Francis has said that he didn't even fill out the application, and his signature didn't really match what.
Look, I thought it matched.
No,
I mean, it was similar.
Get the signature.
Yeah, he said he didn't sign it. That's enough. Similar, but not exact.
That's his signature. Both of those are his signature.
I'm not an expert. Mr. Chair, I would like to amend my motion to issue a letter of reprimand to Anthony Francis. A second.
We have motion and second to issue a letter of reprimand, signify by saying aye. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, so moved by a vote of 3-0.
So ask Anthony Francis.
So you'll get a letter to your current address.
Chair will entertain another motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to dismiss Zahra Hania because this person cannot be located. There appears to be no such person, and would suggest that this is a ghost registrant or ghost. I guess they tried to vote, they'd be a ghost voter. There's no point in sending a letter to somebody that we can't find.
We have motion to dismiss Mr. Hania. Is there a second?
Second.
We have motion and second. Any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, so moved. Mr. Ania will be dismissed if he exists. Chair will entertain another motion. Yes, please.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we refer Nikisha Woods to the Attorney General for violation of 21-216.
Ms. Woods did have a statement I want to read out real quick, since she did provide a statement. I am unable to attend due to funds. I don't drive, and I'm the only income in my house. My husband is disabled, and I catch an Uber or Lyft to work each day, and also have to take my husband to Grady. It costs a lot back and forth, and plus I'm not an American citizen either yet, and never voted. This is too far out for me, and the price I'll have to pay to get there and back, on top of paying my bills in my house and going to work, I won't be able to afford it. I'm already behind on my bills for this month. Sorry, I just can't attend this. So that was a statement by Mr. Woods. We have a motion to, send that to the AG, was it?
AG.
We have a motion sent to AG. Is there a second?
Yes.
Second.
We have a second from Member King. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, so moved by vote 3-0. Dr. Johnson? Or anybody else?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we refer Marcy Espinoza Mendoza to the Attorney General and District Attorney. Mr. Chair, I amend that to refer to the Attorney General only.
A second.
We have a motion and a second to refer Ms. Espinoza Mendoza to the Attorney General. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing no opposition, so moved.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to make a comment. In this particular case, she believes she completed the voter registration form when requested by a third-party canvasser. I think that's a cautionary tale for some of these third-party canvassers who put a lot of pressure on people to do these registrations without fully letting people know or finding out if they're actually citizens.
Thank you. You have a motion on, the chair would entertain a motion on Rosemary Saji.
Mr. Chair, I move that we refer Rosemary Saji to the Attorney General for violation of 21-216